Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Richie Scott. We are back with another video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this channel. And listen, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell button so that you can be clued into when we drop new content right here on this channel, okay? Now also be sure to smash that like button if you like this video and shoot me a text message. You know what I'm saying? I can keep you updated with what's going on the channel, travel, and all kinds of other great stuff, and I try to respond back as much as possible. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and touch on what we're going to be talking about in today's episode, because we have a lot to cover, and it's also going to be a part 2 to this because I want to give you guys the information in bite-sized chunks so that it's easily digestible, okay? So you know that we had a new episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta last night, and we're going to get to that. But first, we got to get to all of the news surrounding the episode, and there is a lot to cover, okay? We're going to be breaking down how NENE is clapping back at Kenya Moore's claims that Bravo is phasing her out. And she did so with the help of Mr. Andy Cohen, okay? And that's going to be very interesting to touch on. Plus, I'm going to give you guys all of the breakdowns from what NENE thinks about this past episode and what's going on with her. And we're also going to touch on how she felt about the whole situation with the cookie lady. And do we have a surprise for you with regards to what we just found out about the cookie lady? So you got to be careful when you start letting the cookies out of the box, Miss Cookie Lady. But stick around for all of that because it's going to get juicy. And then be sure to check out the review on the episode because we got some news and tea for that as well, okay? So now let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first. Yesterday, as you guys may have known, the sources are saying that she's getting closer and closer to being fired from the show. That's what Media Takeout is reporting. I don't necessarily believe that she's being fired from the show as of yet. I do think that there are some interesting things going on with her, which could possibly lead to her actually leaving the show at some point in the near future, okay? Because last night when Kenya was on Watch What Happens Live, which was kind of interesting because they've had Kenya on there twice, but they've only had NENE on there once. Which, as the promotional cycle goes, I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of understandable, but typically NENE would have been on there twice by now in any other season. So Kenya had explained to viewers how she thought that Bravo was basically phasing them out. And I'm going to get into that conversation. But it was very interesting because NENE posted this on Twitter because she went on a little bit of a Twitter rant. She said this: "It's looking real shady. A few of my cast didn't even post to tune in to Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight. I'm sure they don't want the ratings to spike when I'm on it. I post tune in even when I'm not on, always. Andy has Kenya on his show tonight. This episode has nothing to do with her. #hater. Then she said this: "Here's a question for Ken," basically talking about Kenya. "Andy, ask her why she is out doing press saying Bravo is phasing me out. Bravo hasn't even told me or my team that. Why is she out saying that I have lost money from not being in episodes? I negotiated my episodes and money up front. I have not lost anything. #shady, #hater, okay? So Andy did in fact ask Kenya the question, okay? So that was crazy because she tweeted in, he asked the question live on Watch What Happens Live last night, and this is what happened. So when Andy asked Kenya that, Kenya basically doesn't back down from the claims. Okay, when Andy said NENE has tweeted in with a question, Kenya responded, "Oh, she's a fan now?" Then Kenya responds, after Andy asks her why she's going around doing press saying that NENE's being phased out, Kenya responds, "Well, she needs to ask Bravo why they're cutting her out of so many episodes. I'm not the one doing the editing. I said I think she is. That's not something I can absolutely say. Clearly, if she's being cut out of episodes, if you're not featured in the episodes, clearly you're not as important as you think you are." Andy says this: "Well, I don't think she's being cut out of the episodes because I think that everything that was shot with NENE was in the show. We're not cutting anything out." Then Andy says this: "I'm saying everything we shot there's nothing that's been left out. And then Kenya says, she shot just as much as I did, but that's a good answer. Basically saying, okay, and I feel like she was basically saying, okay, Andy, that's the PC way to go about saying this. What that sounds like to me is they shot with her less. It seems like. Because if you're saying that everything that she shot is actually what's being shown on the show, then clearly she shot a lot less this season. And then we have NENE basically saying that she basically agreed to how many episodes that she was going to be in. But then it's kind of like, but why are you asking why you're not featured in certain episodes? So we have some audio for you guys basically with NENE talking about this whole situation. And she kind of breaks it down, but I'm still a little bit confused. You guys let me know how you feel after you listen to it, and then we'll come back and discuss it more.
This is not true. So let me tell you how this goes. When we start our seasons for the Real Housewives, we all negotiate. I don't know what any of these girls are making. I can assume, but I do not know anything, and they don't know what I'm making. They can only assume and go about what they have heard. I've not said anything about any of these things. I've heard that Kandi was the highest paid. If she is, great, and that's amazing. I have heard things like I'm losing money. I'm not losing a dime. Let's be very clear about how this works. How it works is we negotiate, everybody negotiates a number of episodes. Whether you negotiate 10 episodes, 15 episodes, 18 episodes, whatever. When we start our season out, when they come to us saying that we will probably have an 18 episode season. Every season, being the Real Housewives of Atlanta and being as great as we are in ratings, we do well over 18 episodes. So you negotiate it. You negotiate. I negotiated my number of episodes. I am going to get paid for them whether I'm in them or not. Okay? So I haven't lost a dime. And in fact, I'm in every episode that I negotiated, and I will continue to be in episodes, and that has nothing to do with the reunion. You know, if I was in a few more episodes than what I negotiated, that's bonus money for me. But what I negotiated, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my money. I'm happy with the number of episodes. I have not complained about being cut out of anything. Be very clear. That's not what I have complained about. I wondered why I wasn't in the episodes, is what I said, but I wasn't complaining because I did shoot. They could have put me in there if they wanted to put me in there, but they didn't put me in some of the episodes. In the beginning of the season, I was not shooting. I was still in negotiations while these girls were shooting. So that is one of the reasons why I wasn't in the first couple of episodes. If I am being phased out of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I do not know anything about that. Bravo has not contacted my team and told us anything of the sort. And if I am being phased out, of the show, then I'm being phased out of the show. Bye-bye. My time has been real. See you later. So I'm not tripping. I've been here a very long time. I've had a great time. I've heard things like they're phasing out the OGs. I don't know what for. If they're phasing them out in other cities, that's their problem. The OGs over here don't look no older than the ones that are supposed to be young. I mean, I don't see it anywhere. And in our cast, most of us are very much of age and very close to age. So, you know, we don't have any babies on our cast at all. So, I mean, I don't see that. And I certainly wouldn't see them trying to phase out based off age. A, that would be discrimination, okay, first off. And B, you got to show me my age, first of all, in order for me to know it, okay, honey? There's plenty of girls on this show who have aged and still aging.
Okay, so for me, I just felt like I really didn't understand this whole situation. Clearly, her contract is a bit more complicated, it sounds like, from the rest of the ladies. But, I mean, on the one hand, you're telling me that you have negotiated this many episodes, but then on the other hand, in some of your tweets, you're also saying or questioning why you're not in the episodes. Wouldn't you know the answer to that question? I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of it because we all want to know, is Bravo phasing her out? Is she aware of it? She's saying that she's not aware of it, but honestly, for most employers, when you're getting ready to terminate an employee, the employee typically does not know that they're being let go, or if they do, they see these signs, not being invited to the meetings as much. You know what I'm saying? You're missing out on emails that you would normally be getting to clue you in on what your client is doing or something like that. Something fishy is usually going on, but the company will never usually say, oh yeah, we about to lay you off in about 2 to 3 months, so go ahead and get ready. They never gonna say that. So to me, Bravo could be just trying to keep it PC, but you guys let me know down in the comment section what you think about all of this. I'm trying to decipher it, but it's kind of difficult, okay? So let's get into some other things that NENE has said. Basically, I'm gonna give you guys some thoughts on from her directly on what she thought about last night's episode and her sit down with Cynthia. Now, with regards to her sit down with Cynthia, she says she felt like she was talking with a stranger and that Cynthia was combative. She also said that she never felt like Cynthia was a follower in their friendship, contrary to the way that people made it seem in social media and on the show. Now, she said that also that there were a few things that were cut out from that conversation that they had during that intense sit down. She says that she hates that they don't have a friendship, and she says she only did the one video where she was talking negatively about Cynthia. And if she had done more, they would have definitely showed it. But she was correct in the fact that they only do show the one video where she's basically sitting down talking with Laurel. And I don't know if you guys remember Laurel, but she was on Love and Hip Hop New York at one point in time, like seasons upon seasons ago, okay? And now she, does a lot of, hosting radio shows and stuff like that. Now, I believe she also has a podcast with Angela Yee. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott Squad. I know you guys will down in the comment section below. But Laurel was basically the one that did that interview, if I'm correct. I'll try to put it here on the screen if I can find it, okay? If not, I'm going to keep on editing and keep it pushing, just to let y'all know. She also said that it's been interesting to watch Cynthia's relationship with Kenya, because she feels like when Kenya does something to her, she forgives her in 5 seconds, whereas with NENE, it's taken a lot longer than that. She also says she said it's interesting to note that Cynthia ran to Tanya to try to make herself seem innocent with regards to the whole Cookie Lady situation, and did not notify Kenya that she was going to do so, which to Kenya seemed very shady. And I can definitely understand that. And I basically said in a previous video that I felt like Cynthia operates in her friendships from a place of fear. I feel like it's fear of consequences from some of these really big personalities that she has in her life. And Kenya is a big personality, and NENE is a big personality. So I kind of feel like her operating from a place of fear causes her to make sort of not the best decisions, because I also feel like she likes to look good in front of the audience. You know what I'm saying? And who doesn't, for real? But that doesn't always make for the best reality television personality, because we want to see the person react and react honestly. So if it really was the case that you felt like you needed to tell Tanya what happened to sort of absolve yourself from what was going on with the Cookie Lady, you probably should have told Tanya too that you had previously invited her to Kenya's event, and then you should have then called Kenya and said, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I did, because I felt bad about her dangling this information in front of her, but not ever telling her what the situation actually was, okay? So NENE did comment on that. She also talked about how interesting that many of the girls didn't post to tune into the episode, because she was featured really heavily, and she feels like 4 of them didn't post, but 1 came back later after 8 and posted it. And she thinks that they don't want to post an episode that she's featured on heavily because they don't want her to seem successful in some way, shape, or form. She said that a lot of people, and even including herself, are wondering why she's not been on Watch What Happens Live lately. And she finds it to be interesting that they're not sending her out to do any publicity, which I thought was very interesting. She said that all the publicity that she's been doing has been through her own team, not the network. Now, this is actually true. When you're on a reality show, there's 2 types of press that you can garner. One is definitely from the network. The network has their own PR team. Every network has their own PR team. And then they will send people out for press as they're ready. But then you yourself should be doing your own due diligence and have your own PR team to have them send you out for things as well. And that is how you really maximize your promotion on a reality show. You don't wait for the network to do everything. You have to take a lot of these things into your own hands, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, it's highly encouraged, okay? She said that she also found it interesting that people assume that she wasn't invited to BravoCon, but she actually was, and she has proof in the form of emails that basically say that she was included in, asked to be at BravoCon several times, but nobody made a big stink about the fact that Kandi couldn't be there. And in her words, she felt like Kandi could have been there. This is what I'm gathering. It seemed like she was implying that Kandi could have been there. Kandi was just not there because her surrogate was pregnant. So she kind of downplayed that. She said that she's opened the door for a lot of these other reality TV stars to do Bravos, particularly with Chicago. She mentioned how after she did it, then Kandi did it, and now Erica Jane is doing it as well. She says that somebody behind the scenes is trying to make it appear that she is a difficult talent to work with, and she says that she is, you know, always on time. Well, and let me throw in my own caveat here. She might be on time for these outside events that she has going on with other endeavors, but she definitely was not on time for that lion brunch that she had, where she was 2.5 hours late to that. So I don't know what, you know, I mean, that's just what we saw on camera. So who knows what the case is actually like in real life. She also says that in regards to hiring Lisa Bloom, she wasn't going to go into too many details, but it was regarding a lot of things that they are investigating that do pertain to certain work situations. To me, that sounds just like if an employer is not going to tell you that they're firing you, you as the employee would not tell the employer that you are investigating them as well. So it could be that, or it could be some other things, as Wendy Williams did allude to in her Hot Topics last week. But to be very honest with you, we still don't know what the actual case is. I wish I could just sit down with NeNe just to ask her a whole bunch of questions, because I really feel like we just want clarification, and there's so much going on, but I'm not done yet. She says that her and Wendy Williams are still cool and they're still friends. And she also feels like she gets a lot of questions about people who want her to have her own show. And she says it's very funny that there's one cast member who has had their own show for seasons upon seasons upon seasons. I'm assuming that's Kim Zolciak, but she has not yet had that opportunity to have her own show. And there have been a couple of other ladies who don't get that opportunity as well. To me, now this conversation seemed like it was almost like they're not giving some of the black girls basically their own show, but they've given Kim Zolciak her own show. And she didn't say that. She did not say that, but this is what I was gleaning from that. And it did seem kind of odd, because to me, for real, I don't know who is watching Tardy for the Party, but clue me in if I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comment section below. Then she also said she feels like somebody feels like at the network feels like she's a threat and is keeping her back from being able to do bigger and better things within the network. And I don't know who she was talking about. It almost felt like she was speaking about Andy, but I really don't know, okay? Now, with regards to the cookie lady, she had a lot to say about, I did find some audio with her basically talking about the cookie lady as well. I'll give you guys that, but what I will tell you about the cookie lady is that while she was so busy trying to out Tanya's fiance Paul, that the people in the streets have now chosen to out her and basically air out her dirty laundry, and they have posted her mugshot online, okay? So now her information is out there, her tea is out there, and that's the thing with reality television. I think you have to be careful with your intentions, because I feel like so many people felt like she had tried to do Tanya dirty and tried to make her look really bad, and the way she came at Tanya seemed just kind of nasty. I feel like people in the internet streets felt like, okay, well, we're gonna find out what we can find out about you, okay? And so that's what they did. But anyway, NeNe basically talks about what she felt about the cookie lady, and you know, let's listen to what she had to say about that.
Kenya, Cynthia, Eva, all sitting at the table last week eating the cookie lady's cookies while Tanya sat there. Okay, I thought it was jacked up, okay, to even do such a thing. I thought they all looked like a bunch of mean girls, period. Tanya's not that kind of girl, like the kind of girl that can really, you know, give you your good read and all that kind of stuff. That's just not who she is. So I thought that was just really jacked up to do something like that. And what Kenny was talking about is Tanya ruining her business doesn't even make sense. Okay, one, she came for Tanya first by trying to bring up information that Paul was cheating at the table amongst the girls. And two, she did the same thing to Marlo. And she, if you keep watching the show, she does it to Cynthia as well. The same thing that she's accusing Tanya of ruining her business, she did it to Cynthia. And you'll see later this season, she does it to Cynthia. And she's already done it to Marlo. It was just wrong. It was just nasty. The lady who comes and said the table looks thirsty and hungry, and she act like they kissed or held hands, or he bought her meal and drink and asked for her phone number. I mean, literally, she got nothing.
Well, okay, so we had a lot to cover in this video, and I ain't even got to the episode yet, but I wanted to get all of this tea to you guys so that you guys would have the information and you can do with it as you please. Comment down below what your thoughts are about the situation. Nene, to me, is very intriguing. I really do want to know more about what goes on in her world. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you guys shoot me a text message as well. Subscribe to the channel if you feel so moved to, and also hit the like button as well. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.